So again, double check your mode, and it should be in what mode? Degree mode. Don't worry about radian until you get to next year. Okay, I want you to write, first put a star. Let's all write out so, ka, toa. And let's see what those basically mean. On our calculator, I want you to look for something that says sine, cosine, and tangent. We have sine, cosine, and tangent. Do we all see that? They're all side by side. So if you were ever wondering what is that, it has to do with the right triangles. Okay? And let's see what that basically means. Sine is opposite over hypotenuse. So if you want to go ahead and write on here, opposite, I'm going to point and say opposite. H stands for hypotenuse. Cosine is, what do you think A is going to stand for? When something is right next to you, it's called adjacent over hypotenuse. Tangent is opposite over adjacent. Okay? Again, these may sound kind of new, and that's okay. We're going to practice them. So let's go on to example number 1 on the bottom. On example number 1, I want to do every other first. So what I want you to do is circle the A's. Circle all of the A's. And go to the angle A and hover over. And here's the order of you guys labeling the right triangle at all times. Always start with H, then to O, then to A, in that order. So here I have a right triangle. What piece is my hypotenuse? 26, so let's write out H. What piece is my opposite when I jump from this angle A? When I jump, 24. And the remaining must be the adjacent. So again, always go in the order of HOA. So let's go ahead and answer the first piece. Sine is opposite over hypotenuse. Are we all writing O over H? In place of O, what number do I have? 24. In place of H, what number do I have? Can I simplify 24 over 26? Yeah. Ooh, divided by 2? Yeah. So we get 12 over 13. And that's it. So label the triangle with HOA. Do you know where the O and the H is? Okay? Now let's go to the next piece that's got angle A. Cosine is what over what? Adjacent over hypotenuse. And we're just going to find those letters. What number do I have on the adjacent? 10. What number do I have on the hypotenuse? 26. Can I simplify this? So I have 5 over how many? 13. Now let's go to our tangent of angle A. Tangent is what over what? Opposite over adjacent. So what number do I have on the opposite? 24 over. The adjacent is 10, which is going to give us 12 over 5. So as long as you know how to label the hypotenuse, the opposite, and adjacent, not a problem. Okay? Now for the next piece. What angle are we looking at the every other of the next piece from? Angle B. So I want you to draw the same triangle on the bottom somewhere. So I have triangle ABC. And then put in the given measurements as well. And this time, we're not going to hover over the A, but who? Over the B. What's the order of labeling the right triangle? The H, the O, and the A. Where's my hypotenuse of this triangle? 26. When I jump, which is my opposite? The 10. And then the adjacent becomes 24. So here's the bottom line. Depending on which angle you're looking at it from, the opposite and adjacent may switch. Okay? So with the partner, let's go ahead and answer the sine of the B, cosine of the B, and tangent of the B. Go. Write this piece. But I do need this back. And then I'll give it to you when I'm done, okay? No, it's okay. Make sure you're writing down the ratio. That's all you need. Thank you. I'll give this back to you after. Okay, if you're done, give me a thumbs up. Thumbs up. All right, Frank, what'd you get for sine of B? 5 over 13, I agree with that. Nev, what'd you get for cosine of B?
12 over 13.
Correct. And then Blake, what'd you get for tangent of B? 5 over 12, very good. And that's basically like redundancy of the top one. Okay, on the next page, I want to worry about the bottom half. Okay, on the bottom half. It says to round to the what? Decimal. Nearest 100. And do we all know where the hundredths place is? How many after the decimal? 2 more after the decimal. All right. Y'all ready? Okay. I am going to rewrite this problem so the variable's on the left side. You don't have to, but that's just my preference. X over 18 is equal to sine of 40. And also after sine, you don't have to put in parentheses, but the calculator automatically does. So I'm going to be consistent with it. All right. Going back to algebra 1. To make x by itself. Anderson, are you with me? Okay, to make x by itself, what must I do on both sides? Multiply by 18. So that means 18 is going to cancel out. So we have x equals. And I'm going to write 18 in the front as a coefficient. Sine of 40. If you're not comfortable with the bracket, you can put double parentheses. Again, I like to differentiate it. So here's our calculator. Get them out. We have 18. Find the sine button of 40 and close it. 18 sine of 40. Hopefully your mode is still on degree mode. So our number should be some number. When I press enter, I get 11 point how many? So we have, not all of it, 2 decimal places. And if you're ever thinking, well, how do I know if this answer is correct? Y'all ready? Hold. If I know sine is opposite over hypotenuse, and the hypotenuse is 18, does it make sense that the leg is smaller than the 18? Yeah. That's more like looking at the relevance of the number. Leila, you had a question?
I got 13.41.
Was your mode on degree mode right here?
Yes.
Let me see your calculator. Okay, let's go on to example number 4 that I'm going to show you a trick on. You were not in degree mode. Degree mode. Try it again. All right. On number 4, let's rewrite the problem. 19 over x is equal to cosine of 52. All right. Where's my variable this time? Is it on the top or the bottom? It's on the bottom. So I'm going to give you a trick on this one. If you have a variable all on the bottom, all you have to do is swap everything on the right in that bottom, which gives us 19 over cosine of 52 is equal to x. Isn't the x now by itself? Which is always good. Yeah. So then I can type this in. Let's go to alpha y equals 19 on top, cosine on the bottom of 52. And when I press enter, let's kind of anticipate something. Should the bottom of the cosine be greater than 19 or less than 19? Greater, because hypotenuse is always greater, correct? So when I press enter, I should get something greater than 19. Is that true? Yep. So we have x equals 30.86. Yeah. So I'm going to summarize what's happening with the x's. I need all eyes on the board. If your x is on the top, simply do your algebra 1. If it's on the bottom, swap them. Are we good with that? Okay? All right, let's move on to the next page, and I want to look at number 7. Number 7. Okay, what are we rounding to again? To the hundreds. And let's write out SOHCAHTOA on the top somewhere. SOHCAHTOA. And what is the order of us naming or labeling the triangle? HOA. If you have like homeowners association, that would be a kind of perfect way to remember. All right. So if I know this is 25, could I find this angle? Yeah? But let's say I get a brain fart and I go, I don't want to worry about that angle. Everything's going to revolve around the given angle. So my hypotenuse is the largest side. You writing with me? Where's my opposite? From this angle, when I jump, where do I go to? AB, so that's my opposite. And here's my adjacent. And I'm going to go ahead and call AB X. And let's call AC Y. All right. Here's how we can actually determine which one to actually use. Sine, cosine, or tangent. My AB. Would you agree AB is O? Okay. Does sine have O? Does cosine have O? Not going to use that. Tangent has O? Good. And then our given information is our adjacent of 5.1. 5.1 is adjacent, so am I going to use sine or tangent? Tangent. So let's write out. Tangent of angle 25 is equal to opposite. What number's on the opposite? Just the x. What number's on the adjacent? 5.1. When your variable's on the top, we simply do our algebra 1. Multiply by what on both sides? 5.1. That's a 5. So I get x equals 5.1 tangent of 25. Let's type it in. And I want to anticipate something real quick. If my x has opposite of 25, should that be greater than or less than 5.1? It should be less than. Because isn't that angle bigger? So that opposite should be bigger than the other one. So it should be less than. So let's see if that is true. Is that number less than 5.1? The numbers are relevant. So we have x equals 2 point how many? 3.8. Very good. Now let's find AC. To find AC, I have to have hypotenuse, right? So I can either use sine or cosine. Which one am I going to use? Has to be cosine because I have an adjacent and I need the hypotenuse. So we have cosine of angle 25. That's a 5. My adjacent, 5.1 over the hypotenuse, the y. Okay, what was the trick that I taught you guys on the other page? You swap. So we have y is equal to 5.1 over cosine of 25. And the variable is now by itself. Let's anticipate something. My y is a hypotenuse, correct? It has to be bigger than 5.1. It should also be bigger than 2.38. Let's see if that is true. So we have 5.1 on the top, cosine of 25 on the bottom. And when you press enter, is it really the hypotenuse, the larger side? Yep. So we have y is equal to 5.63. All right. Are we good with that one? I'm going to change up the next problem just to kind of cater to your need. So what I want you to do is cross this problem out. And cross this out as well. And I'm going to give you a new picture. Give me a right triangle. Just like the one above, let's go ahead and label it ABC. Here's my right angle. The given information is going to be 3 over here and 7 over here. Now, so far, we found sides of a right triangle. What have we not found yet? We didn't find angles yet. Let's try the angle. So hover over that angle, and we want to name the HOA, hypotenuse, when I jump, is my opposite. The remaining must be the adjacent. So let's see what I know. I know 7 and 3. Those are opposite and who? Opposite and hypotenuse. Am I using sine, cosine, or tangent? Did someone say sin? Sine. So we have sine of the angle x that we do not know is equal to the opposite 3 over the 7. And I'm going to share a button with you. Y'all ready? Okay, I want you to do second sine. And do another sine. Someone give me a number. 3. And close it. What happened?
Canceled out.
So the sine inverse, the -1 power, and the norm canceled each other out. Do we see that? So right now, my goal is to get x by itself, meaning I need to cancel out the sine. So I want you to go ahead and bracket this on both sides and write out sine inverse. So these two are going to cancel each other out. So what we're typing on the calculator is sine inverse of 3 over 7. Let's try that. Second sine is going to give me the inverse. Then I have 3 over 7. Before you press enter, let's anticipate something. Should that angle be less than 90 or greater than 90?
Less than 90.
Less than 90? And then we know 3 is smaller, pretty small, right? So let's see if that would give me some number that's pretty close to a small number. 25 degrees. And it says round to the nearest hundreds. So I need, that angle must be 25.338. 38 degrees. So here's the bottom line. When you are looking for an angle, we inverse. Okay? Is everyone good on that? Is there a back page?